Great. Hare Krishna, once again, welcome back. So, I know that we were discussing the beautiful shlokas of Bhagavad Gita last several weeks, and we were in chapter 4. But today we have Gaura Purnima. It's a very, very auspicious event, and especially in ISKCON, it is as good as Krishna's Janmashtami. It's a very big event, and we will know more about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is such a wonderful incarnation, the most magnanimous incarnation of Krishna. So we'll understand a little biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and it's very connecting to us because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a very recent incarnation which appeared just 500 years ago. So, especially for us, we being in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, Gaudiya Parampara, it's very, very important to know and understand about Gaura Leela. And there is so many beautiful things we will try to understand today about Gaura Leela. But before that, as usual, we begin our session with the Pranam Mantras. So, let me share the screen with all of you, and you can all join your palms and chant the Pranam Mantras along with me. So just give me a minute before I. The system is slightly slow, but I'm getting it back. All right, should be fine now. You'll be able to see the screen. All right, so please join your palms and please repeat the Pranam Mantras. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasyat Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvishe Namaha Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. All of us together, let's chant Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once again, together loudly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Once again, together. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave. So, welcome back, all of you, once again. So, like I mentioned earlier, that this is going to be a very different session on a special occasion today of Gaura Purnima. We will discuss about Gaura Leela. So, very interestingly, it's a coincidence. Just last Sunday, we had some very famous shlokas that we discussed from Bhagavad Gita. And that is where Krishna is very nicely speaking and telling Arjuna, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharataha abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamiham. So he said that yada yada hi dharmasya, whenever there is adharma, I descend and I ensure that I destroy all the negative elements from this planet. And then he continues to say that paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam. Does anyone remember what is the next? Dharma samsthapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. So I come here to establish dharma, and dharma samsthapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge. He says that every millennium after millennium, I keep coming onto this planet. I descend onto this planet and I establish dharma. So there are so many various incarnations of Krishna. But here today we will be discussing about a very special, very special incarnation of Krishna, and that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is called Channa Avtara. Channa Avtara means his hidden incarnation. Not many people know about this incarnation because he comes in the form of a devotee. Just like Krishna comes as Narsimha in a lion form, he comes as Matsya in a fish form, as a Varaha in the boar form. Sometimes Krishna comes as a Kshatriya, like Parashurama. Of course, although he was born as a Brahmana, but he acted like a Kshatriya. Then we have this form of Krishna, a female form of Mohini Avtara. We all have heard about it. So Krishna comes in so many different forms, but here in this particular form, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he comes as a devotee of himself, a very special form. So here he comes again to establish the dharma. That's a special reason why Krishna comes. But let's understand this through a certain science, a little bit of mathematics. You see, Krishna says in this Bhagavad Gita that I come yuge yuge, sambhavami yuge yuge. What do we understand this yuge yuge? What do we mean? What do we understand from this? So yuge yuge means there are so many yugas, especially there are 4 yugas, and they repeat in cycles, right? So what are the 4 yugas? We have this Kali Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga. By the way, I should also mention that I have a wonderful audience here, an audience of a group of youngsters. They all have joined me here, right here, live, not online, but offline. So they're also giving and prompting some answers. So you will hear them on and off sometimes. So that's very nice. I'm having a live audience after a long time after this pandemic. So it's very nice to have some live audience so that I can see and get some reciprocation by seeing their facial expressions also. So that's very nice. It's encouraging as a speaker. So now, Yuga Yuga. Does anyone remember what is the span of Kali Yuga? I had mentioned this earlier. So, Hinamata ji, Umakuma, Dev, do you remember? If you know, then let me know about that in the comment section. Can you? So, here I have Girishma who says that it is 27,000 years. It is not right. Okay, so Dave says since you're traveling, this network may be a problem, but it's completely fine, and you can all still be in one device if you can. And again, it's very nice to know that about your dedication or every time that you come. Wonderful. So Uma Kumar is saying that it is 4,32,000 years, and you got it right. So the span of Kali Yuga is 4,32,000 years. Now, what is the span of Dwapar Yuga? Any guesses? What is the span of Dwapar Yuga? 4,32,000 years. And we have just completed 5,000 years in Kali Yuga. So there are about 4,27,000 years more for this whole Kali Yuga to get over. So what is the span of Dwapar Yuga? So to go quickly so that we cover Gaura Leela, I want to mention that it is exactly twice of Kali Yuga. It is 2 times of Kali Yuga, that is 6,34,000 years. And similarly, what is the life or the span of Treta Yuga? It is 3 times of Kali Yuga. It is about 12 lakh years something. And Satya Yuga is 4 times of Kali Yuga. So now if you put all together this Satya, Trita, Dwapara and Kali, that is 4, 3, 2, 1, that is all put together 10 times of Kali Yuga, that is all put together is about 43 lakhs 20,000 years, is one Mahayuga. This 4 cycles put together, this 4 yugas put together is called one cycle, that is Mahayuga, and such 1,000 cycles makes 12 hours of Brahma. Now, every 71 cycles, just a little correction, I had mentioned Manvantara, the span of Manvantara to be 72 such cycles, but it is not 72, it is 71 in my last session. So it is 71 cycle which makes one Manvantara. That means one Manu will take care of this 71 cycles. So there are 14 Manus in one day of Brahma. In this 12 hours of Brahma, there are 14 Manus. And once in a day of Brahma, Krishna appears. And when does Krishna appear? Krishna appears in the 7th Manu's time, 7th Manvantara. And what is the 7th Manvantara? Vaivasvata Manvantara, that we understood last time. So right now, we are under Vaivasvata Manu. And Krishna appeared just 5,000 years ago. I'm saying just 5,000 years because when compared to the lifespan of Brahma, it is just. So 5,000 is nothing when we take into consideration this eternal time, this huge time that we have, right? That's how it is relativity of time. So now, Krishna appears once in a day. And when Krishna appears in the Dwapar Yuga. Vaivasvata Manu, there are 71 cycles. In the 28th cycle of Vaivasvata Manu, the Dwapar Yuga, the 28th Dwapar Yuga, Krishna appears. And immediate Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. After Krishna appears in Dwapar Yuga, in Kali Yuga, the very next Kali Yuga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. Now you can imagine it's a very rare event. Why I'm saying rare? Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared just 500 years ago. You can imagine now, one day of Brahma, Krishna appears and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears also once in a day of Brahma. And now it is so close. We are so close to the birth of both Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why it's very, very special. Very, very special. Now, what was the reason that Krishna appeared? On whose request did Krishna appear? Does anyone know? On whose request did Krishna appear on this planet? Krishna appears, takes so many avatars, but he doesn't come like that. He comes when his devotees call. So when Bhumi was so much troubled by all the demons here, like Putana, Shakatasura, so many demons were there troubling on this planet, Bhudevi could not tolerate and she prayed for the Lord to descend. So similarly, Sambhavami Yuge Yuge. In Kali Yuga, there was a decline of dharma. There was a lot of irreligion that was going on. And when that was happening, when irreligion was on rise, there was a very, very special person, a special devotee, Advaita Acharya, who was in the West Bengal. You know, Advaita Acharya, we chant Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara. Advaita Acharya was feeling that, oh my God, there is so much of irreligion, spreading here on this planet. We definitely need to do something. He, as a Grihastha, tried himself to preach to the people, but people were so ignorant. In fact, many Brahmanas were engaged into all irreligious activities, lot of adharma, the so-called Brahmanas. So that was very disturbing. So now Advaita Acharya said, I should do something. And this change can happen in the society only if the Lord descends. Only the Lord comes onto this planet, then it is possible. So he started doing tapasya, a very simple form of worship. He, sitting on the planet, he was sitting on the bank of Mother Ganga, on the banks of Ganges. He started offering Tulsi Dala to the Shaligrama Shila and taking Tulsi Dala, dipping into the Ganges water and then putting it back to Shaligrama, offering it to Shaligrama. That was a wonderful worship and he did for a long time. And being pleased by the prayers of Advaita Acharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears. Now, I should mention one very important thing. Now, when we say about Narsimha, Narsimha is an avatar. Matsya is an avatar. Parashurama is an avatar. Varaha is an avatar. Balaram Buddha is an avatar. But Krishna is not an avatar. He is avatari. What do we mean by avatari? Avatari means all the different various incarnations that we see actually come from this avatari, that is Krishna. All other forms are actually called avatar, but Krishna is called avatari because we understood in the last class, Ite chamsa kalha pumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the original personality of Godhead. He's the fountainhead of all the avatars. Now, very interestingly, just like Krishna is avatari, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is also considered to be avatari because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the combination of Radha and Krishna. Why does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear is very special. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears because he wants to know why Srimati Radharani is so much attracted to him. You know, devotees are very attracted towards Krishna because Krishna is beautiful. Krishna is all attractive. So the topmost devotee, there are so many devotees, but the topmost devotee in the whole creation, both spiritual and material, the topmost devotee is Radharani. Nobody can excel Radharani when it comes to devotion to Krishna. Nobody can be better than Radharani. So now Krishna wanted to know, why is Radharani so attracted to him? Why is she's so enamored by all this different devotional dealings? So he wanted to understand, Krishna wanted to understand the feelings of Radharani, and then he decided that, yes, I will come as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with the mood of Radharani. I will come with the mood of Radharani. With that devotional mood, I will appear on this planet. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although Krishna himself, he comes with the mood of Radharani. And this time when he comes, he doesn't come in the form which is blackish. He is not in the Shama Varna, but he comes in the Gauranga Varna. Krishna Varnam, Visha Krishnam, Sangopangastra Parshadam, Sankirta Yagnai Sankirtana Praya Yajanti hi Sumedasa. Krishna Varanam Tvisha Krishnam means he will not come as blackish form, he will come in the Gauranga, in the form of a molten gold, because Radharani, her bodily complexion is molten gold. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears in that form to understand, to enjoy the moods of Radharani. He appears. See, so nice. The Lord is so merciful that to exhibit, to understand the mood of devotees, he takes a form of a devotee. Krishna himself doesn't know why he is so attractive. Just imagine he is God, he should be all knowing. But his devotees excel even beyond Krishna. So he wants to know what are his devotees thinking about him. So he comes in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very, very special. So let's understand about this very glorious incarnation. By the way, I should mention that no incarnation or avatars are random and sporadic. Yuge, yuge. They're all properly planned. When to come, who will be their parents, what will they do. Everything is mentioned in the scriptures. Nothing is left in the air. Every incarnation is actually mentioned. So tomorrow some Tom, Dick and Harry comes and tells you that, oh, I am Kalki. No, they call themselves Kalki, but they'll be so bulky. So they are not avatars. Please understand, anybody cannot claim themselves to be incarnations of Lord. There should be mention of such incarnations in the scriptures. Nobody can become God. And there are so many references about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the scriptures. Garuda Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, the sloka I just quoted is from Srimad Bhagavatam. In Vishnu Sahasranam, in Devi Puran, there are innumerable Smriti and Shruti. There is mention of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So nobody can simply say that I am incarnation. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is definitely an incarnation because it is substantiated in the scriptures. So that is why we accept Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, although he has come in the form of a devotee, we accept him as an incarnation. So now, when did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appear? When I say 500 years ago, to be very precise, it was 18th February 1486. 18th February 1486, according to the Christian era. So now, you can imagine it's very recent incarnation. So this beautiful form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, a small baby, appeared in Nadia district, that is Mayapur, which is in West Bengal. Very close, about 5 hours journey from Kolkata. This Mayapur, which is now currently the headquarters of ISKCON, there he was born. Krishna comes in this form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, a small baby, and he was born under a neem tree. And because he was born under a neem tree, his mother kept his name as Nimai. And her mother's name was Sachi Devi. And father's name was Jagannath Mishra. So now, I should tell, this is very important, Yashoda and Nanda Baba, and all these different Gopas and Gopis of Krishna Leela, everybody appears in Gaura Leela also. The same personalities, they appear because they're eternal mothers. Yashoda is not mother only during Krishna Leela. No. She comes again during Gaura Leela. And this Leela is going continuously in Goloka also. So Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya are eternal parents of the Supreme Lord. So here, all these different personalities of Krishna Leela, they all appear during Gaura Leela also. So Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya, they appeared as Sachi Mata and Jagannath Mishra, and they were so happy to see this beautiful form of this baby, which was so beautiful that even the Devatas, the demigods, they were descending, and there was a huge surge of people to have the darshan of this beautiful baby. There were so many people. In fact, Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Mata, they were astonished to see all new faces because they were wondering, Nadia is so small, it's a small place, and we know some of them, but there are so many other people we don't know, and they are still coming and nicely glorifying all this beautiful baby. So they were astonished because they were all devtas. They could not understand. You know, sometimes in marriage, there are people, they just go And you cannot, it's very embarrassing for the people to ask, who are you, where, which party are you from, which side are you coming from, whether the bride's or the groom side. You don't ask. Anybody ask also, no, I'm from the other side. You just say that and then you escape. Many people do that. So similarly, like this, the situation was like that, where a lot of people were coming, but Sachimata and Jagannath Mishra did not bother to ask, where are you coming from? So now what happened was, it's very interesting to know here. This small baby was not ordinary baby. This baby was performing lots of miracles when he was born. This Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was small, he used to weep like anything. Weep means literally cry loudly. And all the ladies over there, they used to come and then chant Hare Krishna mantra, or they used to say Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And when they used to say Hari Bol, this baby used to be quiet. And when they stopped chanting Hari Bol, the baby used to cry again. They used to chant again Hari Bol, Hari Bol, the baby used to be quiet. So this used to be continuous like this. The Lord, even in the form of a small baby, was making all these people chant the holy names. The holy name, so beautiful. But one more interesting before I forget. When this baby was born on this 18th February 1486, it was Purnima and it was lunar eclipse. There was a Grahana time happening. It was in the evening time when this baby was born. Just when the moon rise was happening, there was a Grahana. And when this eclipse, lunar eclipse was happening, people all over Nadia district, they were taking bath in the Ganges because that's our culture. And they were all chanting Hari Bol and chanting Hare Krishna. And when this whole Nadia district was vibrating with this holy names of Krishna, that is when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the family of Jagannath Mishra. And very beautifully, some acharyas explain that there was a lunar eclipse, because sometimes many people, they say that moon is supposed to be very beautiful. It's a representation of beauty. That's why many Bollywood movies also, they say, oh, Chand Sa Mukda and all these songs they have. When this moon was here, this material moon, which is so-called beautiful, now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is so beautiful, Krishna himself, was appearing on this planet. There was an eclipse because they wanted to cover this beauty of this material moon and exhibit the beauty of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that's why there was an eclipse. So acharyas explain like that. So now this child used to cry and weep, and only when they chant Hari Bol, he used to be quiet. And that is how he indicated that, yes, my specific reason of taking incarnation as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to spread the holy name of Hare Krishna mantra all over the world. That was his plan. And he indicated this as a child. Now, not just that. So what used to happen was, this little boy was so wonderful. He used to go and take some clay and eat it, put it in the mouth. Just like Krishna used to do. He used to put the mud into his mouth, and then when Mother Yashoda told, open your mouth, and then she could see the whole universe in his mouth. So similarly here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to eat the clay, and then Mother used to say, why are you eating this mud? Take this nice sweets. And this little boy used to tell the mother, Mother, this is also clay, this is also clay. It's just in the different form. The sweets are also actually clay. It really doesn't matter. I'm going to eat the clay. By the way, the mother was also very intelligent. Now, she was the wife of Jagannath Mishra, who was very intellectual and big learned Brahmana. And she told this little boy, see, look, this brick is also clay, but we don't eat it. We use it for construction. This mud pot is made of clay, but we store water. I completely understand that the sweet meats are also made of clay, but these are meant for eating and those are not. So this little boy understood about his foolishness and he kept quiet in front of his mother. So mother was also very intelligent. So now, once it so happened that this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was on the, he was in his compound playing there in front of his home, and two kidnappers came. And these kidnappers, they took this little baby and they took him away. Now, very mysteriously, with the internal potency of the Lord, he somehow illusioned these two kidnappers, and they thought they are actually going away from the place, but somehow, mystically, they again came in front of his home and they realized, oh, it's the same house from where we picked this boy. So they, out of fear, they left him there and they ran away. And once it so happened that when this small baby, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, was playing at his home, one Brahmana visits and he wanted to stay there at their place. And this Brahmana was a very devout Brahmana and he used to do his prayers and he used to cook himself and offer it to the Supreme Lord. And when he kept the bhoga, the offering, in front of Krishna, and he was meditating, this little boy, Nimai, he goes and he eats it off. So this Brahmana, okay, this is a small boy, I'll excuse him. He cooked again. And this boy went again and ate it when he was meditating. So Brahmana was a little patient and then he said, okay, I'll cook again. And then he took it and cooked again. But the third time also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Nimai, this small boy, ate the offering again. So this Brahmana was so disappointed and he was thinking, oh, it's so bad that, I want to offer something. And he was literally in tears. And that's when Nimai showed beautiful form of Krishna to this Brahmana. Nimai himself became Krishna and told, you were offering to that deity, but here am I'm taking your offering directly. So this Brahmana was in ecstasy, seeing Krishna directly face to face. And he was so blessed to see Krishna personally. So this little boy, who is Chaitanya Nimai, now he, at the age of 5, he was sent to a small school, but officially he joined the Pathashala, that is at the age of 8. Now, at the age of 8, he became expert in Sanskrit grammar and Nyaya, logic. And in the span of 2 years, he became a Pandita in just 2 years. Now, Sanskrit is not an easy language, but in just 2 years, a small boy, just from 8 to 10 years, he became an expert and he was called Nimai Pandit. He became a Pandit, the Supreme Lord. And at this point of time, he had a brother. His brother's name was Vishwarupa. And Vishwarupa, who was elder, he actually left family and he took sannyasa. Vishwarupa took sannyasa. And that's when Jagannath Mishra got a shock because he elder brother left, the elder son left the home. And very soon, Jagannath Mishra, the father of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, passes away. And that was a big shock for Sachimata. But somehow Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nimai consoled him. Now this Nimai was not sitting quiet. He was going around all throughout the Nadia district and preaching. He was talking about logic and Vedanta philosophy and making people understand the Vaishnava philosophy and going and defeating all the so-called Smarta Brahmins. So he was very, very active going around preaching. At the age of 14, he got married to Lakshmi Priya. And now Lakshmi Priya is none other than the goddess of fortune. Sri Devi and Bhudevi, he'll get married in this as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. None other than the goddess of fortune. Again, it's a very beautiful pastime that at the age of 14, he got married to Lakshmi Priya and he was continuing to preach all throughout Bengal. He was going to different places and preaching was going on and defeating a lot of people. And it so happened that Lakshmi Priya, at a very young age, because of snake bite, she passes away again. Now the mother was shattered. Sachimata said, my dear son, you get married again. And that's when he gets married again to Vishnu Priya this time. So both Vishnu Priya and Lakshmi Priya are the consorts, Sri Devi and Bhudevi themselves, who got married to Nimai Pandit. Now Nimai Pandit, at the age of 18, 19, when he was going around, he went to Gaya. So once he went to Gaya, as he was preaching, along with his associates. And at Gaya, he met his spiritual master, Ishwara Puri. So just like Krishna had Sandipani Muni as a guru, here Ishwar Puri Prabhu was there. He accepted him as a spiritual master. And since then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stopped debating and he only got engrossed in chanting the holy names and started exhibiting even more very beautiful expressions of love towards Krishna. And now there were a lot of other people who were envious, the so-called smart Brahmanas, who were envious of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's fame. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was spreading the Sankirtan movement like fire all throughout this West Bengal and especially Nadia district. he was going on doing Sankirtan, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, because that's the Kali Yuga Dharma. The Dharma for Kali Yuga is chanting the holy names, Yuga Dharma. This chanting is the Yuga Dharma, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu initiated this Yuga Dharma at a very young age. Now, there was a lot of popularity that was going on, and smart Brahmanas were jealous and they could not take. They were very envious. So they went and they complained to the Nawab there, the in charge. He was actually a Muslim, Chand Qazi. So Chand Qazi was the one official who was in charge of that particular region, and they all told that this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually misleading people. He's not teaching them Vedanta. He's making simply them to chant Hare Krishna mantra, which is not right. So Chand Qazi was envious, and he went and broke the mridangas. You know, the devotees used to go and play mridangas, and they broke the mridangas and then told that this cannot continue. If anybody continues this Sankirtan movement, you will be forced into Islam. You'll all become converted Muslims. So don't do this. So they were very envious. And this news goes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he organizes the very first revolutionary movement. You know, so he calls and invites all the people across Nadia, and in 14 groups, they taking the torch, the fire torch in their hands, they all start marching towards the Chand Qazi's palace. And there, this Chand Qazi was so afraid seeing the huge crowd coming to his place. And then Chand Qazi, he begs, he falls down at the feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu consoles him. And very interestingly, Chand Qazi says to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he opens this top cloth and shows the marks of, lion scratching him. He says that I saw this half man and half lion form in my dreams, and he was sitting on my chest last night, and he actually was ready to tear apart my chest. Then it was none other than Narsimha himself who had actually come and appeared to Chand Qazi, and Chand Qazi then became a Vaishnava. He wanted everyone else to become Muslim, but he himself became Vaishnava. Even now, if you go to Nadia district, if you go to Mayapur, there is a place of the Samadhi of Chand Qazi, and even devotees, Vaishnavas, they go and visit Chand Qazi's Samadhi. Although he's a Muslim, born Muslim, but we go there and worship because we offer our prayers because he became a great Vaishnava later. So Chand Qazi's Samadhi is still there in Mayapur. So now, after this whole thing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was becoming more and more intense in his love towards God. And at the age of 24, when the smart Brahmanas, because of some petty little reasons, they were saying, oh, he's a family man, and how can he become a preacher? All these different ideologies were coming up. He said, enough is enough. I don't want this whole Hare Krishna movement to be sectarian. It should not be sectarian because this should go to each and everybody. And that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he says, I'm going to take sannyasa. He took sannyasa. He shaved up his head. His mother was in tears, seeing the beautiful son with so nice silky hair and so handsome. And then she was in tears to see the son like this, and a young wife, Vishnupriya. And it was a very heart-wrenching moment for both of them, both Vishnupriya and Sachi Mata. And he said that now I cannot live here anymore. He goes to Shantipur, which was the place of Advaita Acharya, because of whom he appeared. And they used to plan about Sankirtan movement. They used to plan about how to spread this Hare Krishna movement all over the world in Shantipur. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I will still stay very close to my mother, but I will go to Jagannath Puri. And that's when he goes to Jagannath Puri and resides in Jagannath Puri, which we know, which is in Odisha. So now, from 24 to 30 years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled all throughout India, and especially southern India. He started traveling by foot. He was traveling because that time there were no airplanes, there were no, highways and all those things. So he used to travel, and he met many devotees, great exalted devotees, and also a lot of smart Brahmanas and so-called devotees, and converted many people into Vaishnavism. In fact, we have this famous devotee in Maharashtra, Sant Tukaram. Tukaram was actually initiated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Tukaram is very famous for his kirtans and bhajans, and everybody goes to Pandharpur. The Warkaris, we know, how beautifully they sing. Tukaram is actually initiated into Sankirtan movement by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during Chaturmasya, he stayed 4 months in Srirangam. Srirangam is it's a headquarters of Sri Vaishnavism. And there also, he converted many into Vaishnavism, into Gaudiya Vaishnavism, and made them worship Radha and Krishna. So this was going on. He traveled all throughout. At the age of 30, then he made Puri as his headquarters. Even now, if you go to Jagannath Puri, there is a place called Gambira. It's a home of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. You can see his footwear. You can see the clothes that he was wearing. You can see the chanting beads that he was chanting on. All these different paraphernalia of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are there in Jagannath Puri, and of course in many other places where he traveled. So when you go to Jagannath Puri, when we plan there, we'll definitely go and visit this place. So there are a lot of pastimes about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu there. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as he was progressing, there are only 8 shlokas which he has left, written shlokas that are called Shikshashtakam. These 8 verses are called Shikshashtakam, which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave to the whole world. And as he was preaching, there are many more things. 18 years, from 30 to 48 years. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived only for 48 years. The last 18 years he spent in Jagannath Puri. And before he left this planet, there are many beautiful things that he did. And that was the spreading of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That was the core. All these details are very elaborately explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Chaitanya Bhagavat, so by Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami, and very beautiful, lot of details are there. And you will know that how even Hanuman appeared in front of during Gaura Leela as Murari Gupta, and many other incarnations of different devatas, they were all appeared. In fact, Haridas Thakur, Namacharya Haridas Thakur, we say, he's incarnation of Brahma, but he came in the family of Muhammad, in his family of his Mohammedan family. So there are many beautiful things, but one special reason why we are so devout to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is because his Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tushe Namah. The Pranam Mantra we chant regularly. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Whether you are a debaucher, you are a drunkard, you are not a Brahmana, you are a Mlecha, you are a Yamana, you are a Christian, you are a Muslim, you are a Sikh, you are a woman hunter, no matter what bad habits you have. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will give the holy name to them. And such one pastime happened, which I want to specifically explain about this Jagai and Madai. Now, Jagai and Madai, born in a Brahmana family, 2 brothers were had a very beautiful background, but because of bad association, they became the greatest criminals at that time. And they were disturbing people, drinking on the streets and making noise and all that halla gulla, and creating a nuisance in the marketplaces, and they became women hunters and all these things. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had asked Nityanand Prabhu and his associate Haridas Thakur to go and preach the holy name everywhere. And these brothers, in the drunken state, they took a clay of pot and they hit Nityanand Prabhu, and there was blood oozing out. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know about this incident, he ran to the spot, and he actually invited his Sudarshan Chakra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took Sudarshan Chakra and he was about to kill both these brothers. Nityanand Prabhu holds down, says, please, my Lord, in this incarnation, you have promised not to take any weapon. Your only weapon is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You will defeat all these people. You will kill all the enemies within the heart by chanting by these holy names. So please don't release this Sudarshan Chakra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu takes back this Sudarshan Chakra. And then, by mercy of this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, both these brothers, Jagai and Madai, who were criminals, become great Vaishnavas. So there are so many Jagais and Madais in this society today. You just step outside your home, you will see so many such nonsensical people who have no clue, no idea about what is the purpose of life. They are simply wasting their life in eating and drinking and all nonsense things. To such people, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come and told that I am going to preach. He had predicted, in fact, that this holy name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra will spread across the world. He had said, Prithvite yache yata nagradi grama sarvatra prachar hoibe mora nama. He said that all throughout every nagar across the world, not just in India, by the way, everywhere it will be spread. And that time, when people heard about this prediction, people used to think that, oh, it's because, in India, it will be spread, Hare Krishna mantra, it will all be spread in India. They had this conception. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had also predicted one more thing. He had said that, I will send my Senapati Bhakta. I will send my commander-in-chief in the future, and he will spread this holy name across the world. And now it's very obvious who did that. There were many predictions about Srila Prabhupada. It was predicted by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is the Senapati Adhyaksha. Srila Prabhupada was one at the age of 70 who took this holy name from India to the West. The people in West were fully absorbed in materialism. Those hippies, they were completely drunken into drugs, women hunters, every nonsense thing they could do. You speak of it and they were doing it. And that's the place in filth. That's where Prabhupada goes and makes those hippies into happies. And today you see how the Hare Krishna movement is spreading across the world. It's because it's a prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This Sankirtan movement cannot be stopped for the next 10,000 years in Kali Yuga. Nobody can stop this movement. Nobody can stop. There will be many, many people who will come. There will be so-called scholars, a lot of spiritualists. They'll come and go. Just like those, those fireflies. They give light for some time and then they go away. So there'll be many so-called famous people who will come and go away. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada will remain for the next 10,000 years. It's a prediction of the Lord. So after doing this all Sankirtan movement and spreading this movement, the last 2 years of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life were very intense. He became literally mad in the love of God, in the love for the love of Krishna. Just like Radharani feels the separation from Krishna, it's called Viraha Bhav. When there are two people who love, a boy and a girl generally, when they are in love, the love is not as intense when they are together. When they are separated, when they are away from each other, that Viraha Bhav, that separation, creates a lot of love, intense love. It's a very highest state of love. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was feeling that intense separation from Krishna, just like Radharani feels separation from Krishna. So that 2 years, from 46 to 48, those were quite intense for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he did not leave the body like us. He, in the final state of his life, there is a very beautiful temple of Tota Gopinath in Jagannath Puri. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, since he is non-different from Krishna, he entered the Vigraha of Tota Gopinath. He just entered the Murti of Tota Gopinath. And that's how he vanished from this planet. He did not leave the body like us. So that is how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. And there are many, many beautiful things to say because it's never ending here. There are many beautiful pastimes about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But these are few things that I wanted to share today. If you have any questions, you can please feel free to ask about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the one who actually initiated this Hare Krishna movement. And we are just following in the footsteps of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this is not an ordinary thing. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not well known as of now as an incarnation because it's Channa Avatar, hidden incarnation. So many people are not aware of this incarnation. So that's why it's a responsibility of we devotees to make sure that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorified. Many people, when they visit ISKCON temple, they see these two deities with the raised hands. They're dancing with the raised hands. So many people don't know who are these people. So they are actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. They are none other than the same Krishna and Balaram. Krishna and Balaram appeared 5,000 years ago, and same Krishna Balaram again appeared 500 years ago in Nadia district as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. Same Krishna and Balaram. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very, very magnanimous. So today, since it is Gaura Purnima, it is an appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We generally fast until moonrise. So today we will be devotees. We are fasting until moonrise. We take food only after prasadam, only after 6:17 as per time here in Karnataka and Bangalore. So anything after 6:30 or 6:45. So we fast on this auspicious day, and we fast and we take non-grain food. Even in the night, we don't take grain prasadam today. We take Ekadashi prasadam after 6:30 p.m. So you can also, if you have not taken anything, you can continue to fast. It will be really very nice. So on this auspicious day, it is good that we take a little bit of tapasya and chant the holy names more and more. You should chant the Hare Krishna mantra today. Please do not miss out on this. You can chant more today and attract the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because he is the one, no matter what is your current condition, your current situation of devotion, but he will forgive all the wrongdoings and he will bring you into Krishna consciousness. So we should pray and beg to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu today that we become his devotees and continue our devotion and escape from this material existence. So that should be our prayer. And with this, I want to end the session. If you have any questions, Uma Kumar or Achyutanji on YouTube, so please feel free to ask questions. That will be really nice. So let me see if I have missed out anything. I had made some simple notes, but yeah, I think I pretty much covered most of it. But we are very much blessed because we were so close. We are definitely very close to the incarnation of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So we should take full advantage. In human form, just imagine, in human form, we have come in contact with this wonderful movement. It's not a simple thing. It's a miracle in itself. Because there are so many human beings. Of course, there are so many species. Out of that, so many 84 lakh species, we have this human form. In human form, there are not everyone who are actually getting to know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Not everyone is going to get and understand the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Not everybody is striving for it. But we are so fortunate that we have somehow come in contact. So we should take full advantage of this opportunity and make our life perfect. So take full advantage of this auspicious day today, Gaura Purnima. And with this, I will end my session today. It was a short session, but definitely in the next session, we will continue from where we had stopped in the Bhagavad Gita. And Achyutanji, I know your question is still pending. We will take up that question in the next session and we will try to cover it then. So have a wonderful Gaura Purnima, a very happy Holi to all of you, and have a very colorful Holi. So we'll see you again next Sunday. So until then, please take care. Hare Krishna.